Okay, hey, Mariah, I've got your work up here. I'm looking to see. There were two ads due this week. This was sharing the work from Milestone One. So that ad had two. That assignment had two ads required. So we're missing an ad here. Just want to let you know. So okay, I think that what you have here is it's really good. Page mechanics is outstanding. And I think that hierarchy is there's a little bit of issue with hierarchy, a little bit of an issue with the page being kind of in competition with itself, so to speak. And I'll describe all that in 1 second. But I think you've done a good job. Let's start with the background image. Okay, I think the image is you could be cropped closer. I would rather see more of the opening and less of being in the cave because that's kind of a creepy feeling. And I think that if we were to crop this image and yeah, sure, we're in this sort of enclosure or this cave looking out, we get that. That's cool. But excuse me, my question is, do we have to be so deep in the cave? I hope that makes sense. Okay, so I'm thinking maybe crop it something like this so that we can see more of the outside, this gorgeous view outside, and less of these kind of creepy cave, these like encroaching cave walls. Like if you're claustrophobic, you'll probably flip out at this ad. All right, you see what I'm saying? So let's do this. So that's my first suggestion. That way, it's going to change a little bit of the typographic color, and you won't have to be forced to try to use, which I think it looks like you're forcing color in your typography. I really do. I don't think it's necessary. There's no reason this can't stand on its own. Even stronger, white in white. Same thing with the right next door. All right. So suggestions for improvement, other than really cropping that image a little closer, is that you've got some alignment issues, and I think those are throwing you off a little bit. Now, the first thing I suggest is taking the contact information out of the upper corner and pulling it down below here somewhere. Why? Because logically, your viewer is going to expect to enter the composition where the headline begins, right here. What you're doing is you're saying to the viewer, okay, you got to make a choice now. So you're immediately challenging the viewer and saying, okay, what's it going to be? I know you want to look here, but I want you to look here. So the viewer immediately gets this little kind of sense of confrontation. Let's move that down here and put it down here for a minute. All right. Let's take a look at the headline. Now, when we crop this closer, and I think that this is going to become more of a visual focal point, and therefore that's going to take a little more weight. Right now, all the weight in this composition is in the upper left-hand corner. So by taking some of that away, we're going to distribute the weight more evenly through the composition. Therefore, alignment is going to become critical. This, I don't think makes sense, the ... right next door. Just take right next door, remove the ellipsis, and move it right over here and align it right there, okay? Just don't change anything except move it right there. And take this whole piece and keep it in white, okay? Then align that with this type right here. However, I think this type right here, I think you're being forced to keep the line, the length of your line really short because the rock is in the way. So by cropping it closer, I think you'll have a little bit more room. Because I think these are too short. These, good optimal character count is like anywhere between, I don't know, 60, 58, and 75 characters. They used to say 45 and 60, but that's just too short. So 60 and 75 characters. Okay. But this is so far short of that. It's not a bad thing, but I think these lines could be a little bit longer. And the other thing is print this page out in black and white. Take a look at the size of your type. This is pretty big. I don't think it has to be that big. I don't think a headline has to be that big. I think you could just be a little bit more gentle with that because you've got all the dynamics of the background image going on. All right, so back to the composition. That was going to be my suggestion is finish that. Go ahead and get your alignment set up right there. Okay, this is going to be really difficult to align. So we're going to take the logo and move it over here. Okay, that's going to eliminate any kind of this weird alignment issues. Let me Command R this so I can pull a guide out. I'll set that guide right here. Okay, and you can see where the logo is getting kind of chopped in half by that visual drop line. All right, so we'll move the logo over here. We'll take this contact information, move it over here, left align it, and align it with this. Okay, so you have this nice, beautiful line coming down here. Logo's over here, so the logo and the rock are going to counterweight the heaviness of this up here, and it's going to be a beautiful composition. Try it. If you like it, that's great. If not, don't use it. But right now, I think that you've done a wonderful job. I just think that we have a little bit of competition. I'm going to just expound on one comment I made, and that's the page being in competition with itself. And I usually use this example while doing this is this visual stops, number of visual stops. Okay. So and how many different things are you showing? You've got this contact information up here. Okay. Then you've got the first line but 3 different colors. Okay. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 things that you're asking the viewer to process right there before they even get into the composition. Then you have type, then you have logo, then you have image. So by placing things in alignment, what you're doing is you're forcing the eye to more naturally go down the line. Let me show you an example. Let's say over here as we have the proximity to this type, and this kind of alignment right here is forcing the eye to go like this. Start with the type and just naturally go down the page. And I think that by moving this over here and tightening up that left margin, I think will really allow for the eye to kind of effortlessly flow down the page as opposed to going like this. Watch my cursor. Here, 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 here. Okay, so you have from that to this. So you would have, taking that background image, then headline, then right down the line, contact information, logo. And that's all you're asking the viewer to do. They'll remember the ad more the less you're asking them to do. I hope that makes sense. All right, any questions at all, please feel free to get with me. Okay, thanks. Good job.